It was a quiet Saturday morning in a sleepy California suburb, the kind where the sun spills over rooftops and sprinklers hum like a lazy heartbeat. 8-year-old Lily sat on the sidewalk, her purple sneakers kicked off, chalk dust smearing her hands. Her ponytail was messy, her tongue pressed against her lips as she focused on her masterpiece, a T-Rex, its jagged teeth drawn with fierce pride. Every few moments she tapped her iPad, its cracked case housing a grid of colorful symbols. Dinosaur. Happy. Mama. The device's robotic voice sang with her joy. That iPad wasn't a toy, it was Lily's voice, her only way to say, "I love you," to ask for milk, to crack jokes that made her family laugh. She was nonverbal, but that morning, she was radiant. Then a black SUV crept around the corner, moving too slowly, like a predator stalking prey. No plates, tinted windows darker than legal. I noticed it from the porch, my coffee cooling in my hand. 2 men stepped out, dressed in khaki tactical pants, blue polos, and utility belts that screamed, official, but felt off. Sunglasses hid their eyes, clipboards gave them an air of authority, but their radios looked like props from a cheap cop show. They scanned the street, their gazes locking on Lily. One of them, the taller one, strode toward us, tapping his clipboard with fake purpose. "Is that your kid?" he asked, voice flat. "Yeah," I said, standing, instinctively stepping between him and Lily. "She's drawing on an HOA-regulated sidewalk," he barked, pointing at her T-Rex. "Unauthorized expression. Article 4, Section 19 requires HOA approval." I blinked, half laughing. "She's 8. It's chalk." His partner, shorter and stockier, snapped. "We're authorized to issue citations and confiscate non-compliant materials." Lily tapped her iPad. "Look. Dinosaur. Happy." The taller one's face twitched, irritation flashing. "Cease this activity," he ordered. I stepped forward. "You're not serious." Then it happened. The tall one lunged, snatched Lily's iPad from her hands, and raised it high. She gasped, a desperate sound, her fingers clawing the air. I shouted, rushing forward, but it was too late. With a sickening crack, he slammed the iPad against the curb. Glass shattered, sparkling like tears on the pavement. The case split, circuits exposed. Lily froze, her body jerking as if she'd been hit. Her hands fluttered, tapping at nothing, her chest heaving. She was trying to speak, but her voice was gone, stolen by a man who stood there smirking. "File an appeal if you've got an issue," he said, turning back to the SUV like he just tossed out garbage. My hands shook, rage burning my throat. The men started walking away, their boots clicking with arrogance. Then I heard it, the creak of the front door, the slow thud of boots on wood. "Grandpa Henry." He stepped onto the porch, his flannel shirt tucked into cargo pants, his frame slightly stooped but radiating strength. In one hand a coffee mug, in the other, a roll of duct tape. His eyes locked on Lily, curled on the grass, her hands trembling. Then he looked at the men. That flicker in his gaze said everything. This wouldn't end the way they thought. "I'm saying this once." Henry's voice cut through the air, low and sharp, like a blade. "Apologize. Leave. Never come back." The men froze. The taller one, still holding his clipboard, flashed a fake badge. "Sir, return to your property. You're interfering with HOA enforcement." Henry didn't blink. "That's my granddaughter." That iPad was her voice. "You smashed it." The shorter one snorted, hand twitching near his waistband. "You threatening us, old man?" Henry smiled, a cold, war-room smile that made the air heavier. "I'm retired," he said. "But I remember enough." The street went still. Even the breeze seemed to hold its breath. Lily let out a small, broken sound, not a cry, just a tremble. Henry's jaw tightened. You heard her, he said, voice dropping to a growl. And no one's gonna find your teeth. The taller one stepped back, then smirked, trying to recover. You touch us, you're done. Henry took a step forward. You're not cops. You're punks playing dress up, scaring families for fake fines. You thought we were weak. His boots hit the pavement, deliberately. You thought wrong. Neighbors started to gather, phones out, filming. A woman across the street whispered into a headset. The shorter man reached for something under his shirt, a baton, maybe worse. Henry clocked it instantly. Careful, he warned. You don't know how fast I am. The men hesitated, their confidence cracking. Then the taller one barked. You're obstructing an HOA investigation. Henry moved like lightning. From his pocket came the duct tape, snapped open with a hiss. He lunged, redirecting the taller man's arm, twisting it behind his back, and slamming him face first onto the pavement. Sunglasses cracked, the clipboard skittered away. Henry's knee pinned the man's spine, tape wrapping his wrists in seconds, clean, tight, final. The shorter man panicked, reaching for his waistband. Henry, still kneeling, twisted and launched upward, his elbow crashing into the man's chest. Air exploded from the man's lungs. A knee to the gut followed, and he crumpled to the grass, gasping. 10 seconds. That's all it took to turn two bullies into writhing examples. The crowd grew, phones up, whispers spreading. Is that duct tape? Someone muttered. Mrs. Carter, shaking but filming, caught every second. A teen gasped. Holy crap, did you see that? Henry stood, calm as ever, and dragged the taller man to the corner stop sign. He taped him to the pole, torso, chest, knees, each loop precise, the metal groaning under the strain. From his pocket, he pulled a folded paper, Lily's IEP, listing her diagnosis, her need for the iPad, her legal protections. He taped it to the man's chest, letting the crowd see. These men, Henry said, voice carrying, impersonated law enforcement. They destroyed a disabled child's voice with pride. Gasps rippled through the neighbors. A teen shouted, Keep rolling! Laughter broke out, nervous but bold. Sirens wailed in the distance. The shorter man, still on the grass, whimpered. Henry zip-tied his ankles, courtesy of a neighbor's offering. This isn't punishment, Henry said. It's a statement. By the time 3 squad cars pulled up, the crowd was 50 strong, buzzing with righteous fury. Officers stepped out, hands near their belts but calm. Lieutenant Brooks approached, squinting at the taped man. Jake Teller, he muttered. Booked him for fraud last month. The woman officer nodded. And that's Mike Varro. Ran a scam in Pinewood. Brooks took Lily's shattered iPad from Henry. They smashed it, Henry said. She used it to speak. Brooks exhaled, nodding. We'll take it from here. Jake and Mike were cuffed, silent now, their fake badges gone. Lily sat on the curb, clutching a juice pouch, watching. She wasn't scared, she was learning. Press charges? Brooks asked. Everything in the book, Henry replied. I added, that iPad was ADA protected. This was a civil rights violation. Brooks whistled. Feds love this. By Sunday, the video was everywhere, 3.6 million views on YouTube, trending on X as #HOA humiliation. TikTok teens remixed Henry's takedown with epic music. News vans swarmed, anchors interviewing neighbors. A veterans group donated a new iPad for Lily, pink with a T-Rex sticker. When a reporter asked her what happened, she tapped. Grandpa protect. The anchor cried on air. The clip hit 200,000 views in minutes. The trial was a spectacle. Jake and Mike faced charges: impersonation, destruction of medical equipment, intimidation of a disabled minor. The prosecutor showed the video, Lily's iPad shattering, Henry's duct tape snapping. the defense claimed. Misguided volunteers, but it crumbled. Henry took the stand in his flannel, voice steady. I spent 27 years in covert ops. I've seen men fake power to hurt others. They thought Lily was an easy target. They were wrong. The jury convicted them in 2 hours. 5 years each. The courtroom exhaled. Weeks later, the HOA banned fake enforcement, with no appeals. A sign went up. Lily's Way, protected by family. Kids drew chalk murals freely now, dinosaurs, rockets, suns. Lily led the pack, her iPad singing. Henry sat on the porch, coffee in hand, duct tape nearby, a quiet sentinel. One night, a letter arrived from Congresswoman Laura Hayes, proposing Lily's Law to protect assistive devices. Lily tapped. Make it safe for others. She and I flew to D.C., where she tapped, Voices Matter, to a silent committee, earning a standing ovation. Back home, Henry waited under the porch light. Did you change the world? He asked. Lily tapped. We did. The stop sign still leans, faint tape marks lingering. Lily draws her T-Rex, now with a tiny Henry beside it, holding duct tape. The neighborhood hums with pride. Letters pour in, kids calling Lily a hero. Schools teach the case as a lesson in humanity. Henry, ever humble, says, I did it because someone had to. Under the stars, he knows the world shifted, not by law, but by a girl who wouldn't stay silent and a grandpa who made sure she was heard. What do you think? Was Henry a hero or a vigilante? Should he have waited for the cops? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're dying to hear your take on justice, family, and standing up to bullies. Smash that like button, share this story, and let's get this conversation going.